Do your guys have to be a little less aggressive off the line on those RPOs to make sure they don't end up downfield? Or
Yeah, you saw Isaiah got called downfield on the one.
Yeah.
He's knocking a 3 technique 8 yards downfield. If you watch the tape, and he's called because Dwayne pumped it and threw it down a little bit field. So yeah, some of those, they're a little bit nervous about being called downfield. He was upset about that penalty. I'm like, kids, you drove the guy 4 yards down the field. You're trying to finish a block. Great job. If it's called an RPO, that's part of what it is.
Greg, we hear a lot of defensive coaches say how much they hate RPO. Do offensive line coaches hate RPO?
I can't say that.
Hate, not hate, but like
I can't say
it
that.
makes your life tougher.
It's hard. Before it wasn't hard because they know with JT, like you said, roll off the ball. We want them to roll off the ball, but in this RPO world, it's a different deal.
How different is it, the RPO with Dwayne versus JT?
I think it's a little bit because you see what Dwayne's doing. He's throwing them more. JT was going to run them more, hand them, or run it himself.
Right.
So now they were concerned about JT pulling it. Where now Dwayne's not a run threat. He's a threat to throw it. So it's much different for us and the things and the looks that we're seeing and how they're trying to stop the pass game with certain blitzes. It opens up more RPOs than it had before.
It seems like a lot of teams are stacking the box, even though you guys are third in the country in passing offense. So you would think like teams are going to be backing up, but it seems like they're actually stacking the box. Is that accurate?
At times.
Yeah.
There's times that it's not stacked, but it goes back to what you said. They want to stop Mike and JK from gutting them and getting them worn out. So they'll say, hey, you know what, maybe they're off in the throwing game and some of those things. But we have to do a great job when it's not stacked, when the box is in our favor, to run the football.
Greg, what were you seeing out of Isaiah against Minnesota? It seemed like he was struggling a little bit.
He was. He had a great first half. And then the second half, once he's trying to be too perfect in that game. And once he made the penalty, once he had the sack, then he got flustered and he lost his cool. And that's why I said, at the end of the third quarter, it's like, okay, you have to calm down and gain your composure back. You know what I'm saying? And then he did. And then you look at the 4 running plays in that last drive to put the game away. He was destroying people. But yeah, he lost his composure. And that's one of the things that we have to work on with him is you got to keep your cool and just stay consistent. It's like anything else. If a bad play happens, you have to let it go. You have to go to the next play. When we get between series, we'll get it fixed and move on. He didn't let that go.
I know when we talked about him earlier in his career, he talked about that kind of stuff.
Same thing.
Things go. But do you feel like he got it fixed toward the end of that game, or is it a lingering thing you're a little concerned about?
Well, I'm always concerned about it. I'm going to keep talking to him about it. We're going to keep preaching it. But the fact that what I was happy about was he gained it back in the fourth quarter, and he played a better fourth quarter like he had in the first half. But yes, it's a constant thing, not only with him because, like you said, in 2016 he lost it a couple times. But last year he never did. There was not one episode where he did. So you think you're over it, and then all of a sudden it pops back up. But I'm like that with all the guys. I don't want any of them to get flustered about a play and then lose their composure like that.